What should have been a simple catch-up between friends turned into one of the most unsettling moments in Todd Grimshaw's story so far. Because the instant Sarah tried to reach the truth, it became painfully clear just how much control Theo still has over him. In today's Coronation Street, Sarah Platt tried to gently get Todd to talk about Theo Silverton, but the entire situation quickly spiraled. The concern around Todd has been building for weeks. Ever since George Shuttleworth gathered Sarah and the others at the funeral parlor and admitted that he believed Theo was abusing him. When Todd arrived that day, he shut the accusation down immediately and insisted Theo had not hurt him. Since then, Todd has only seemed more determined to prove his loyalty, even agreeing to move to Belfast as a sign of how much Theo means to him. That is what made today's episode feel so revealing. After Sarah ran into Christina Boyd in the cafe and learned that she had not heard from Todd in some time, alarm bells started ringing. Sarah went straight to Todd's flat and asked if she could come in. Even though Todd knew Theo hated him spending time with people like Sarah and George, he still wanted that moment of comfort badly enough to let her inside, quietly urging her in while standing near the video doorbell. For a little while, things almost felt normal again. Sitting together with tea, Sarah and Todd slipped into an easy warmth that reminded us of the bond they still share. But the atmosphere changed the moment Todd made an odd remark about how much sugar was in a biscuit. Sarah instantly sensed something was off, and she was right to. Todd's attitude toward food and his body has not changed naturally. It has been shaped by nearly a year of Theo body shaming him, and that small comment exposed how deeply Theo's words have sunk in. Todd's reaction said even more. He became defensive almost immediately, and when he realized Sarah was checking his arms for bruises, he felt exposed rather than protected. That is what makes this dynamic so disturbing. Todd is no longer simply hiding Theo's behavior from others. He has reached the point where even concern feels threatening, because it risks provoking the person he is trying to survive. The tension only worsened when Theo arrived outside. The second Todd heard him coming up the stairs, fear took over completely. Sarah had no choice but to hide in the bedroom, while Todd, visibly nervous, lied and claimed he had just been wasting time on his phone. Theo quickly noticed something was wrong when he saw two mugs, and once Sarah emerged, the flat was filled with that awful kind of politeness that feels more dangerous than shouting. Theo then did something especially chilling. He acted calm, reasonable, even supportive, claiming he had no problem with Sarah visiting because he understood how important the friendship was. But Todd's face told a very different story. He looked like someone who already knew the punishment had only been delayed until the witnesses were gone. That expression mattered because it showed this is not just about isolated moments of intimidation. Todd has learned Theo's patterns well enough to fear what comes next before it even begins. Once Sarah left and the door closed, Theo dropped the performance and confronted Todd over what he saw as betrayal. Todd's terror was instant, and the fact that he asked Theo what he was going to do to him showed exactly how unsafe he feels in that relationship. Then came the most haunting line of all, when Theo told him he was not going to do anything to him. For now. That final threat lands so hard because it is not physical violence in the obvious sense, but psychological control at its most cruel. Theo wanted Todd frightened, uncertain, and waiting for whatever might come next. And that may be the darkest part of this storyline. Todd is now living in a state where even temporary relief does not feel like safety, only a pause before the next round. From here, it feels increasingly likely that Sarah will not let this go. She has now seen enough to know Todd is hiding genuine fear, and that awkward encounter with Theo may only strengthen her suspicion that George was right all along. Todd, meanwhile, looks trapped between wanting help and being too afraid to accept it, which could make the next stage of this story even more painful before any real escape becomes possible. If you want more Coronation Street updates, spoilers, and storyline breakdowns, make sure to subscribe.